Hello there guys, and welcome back to another review. Now, this review is going to be a little different because this is the Eofauna Diplodocus, and I cannot for the life of me fit this in my review station. So I'm going to have to do my very best to at least try and show off as best I can the figure. So, as I said, I want to show it off fully, but just because of how long this thing is, I'm not going to be able to do as good a job as I can, but I would try to do my very best. Okay, so, well, without further ado, let's get on to the review. Now, the Diplodocus, which name means double beam, which is in reference to the double-beamed chevron bones located in the underside of the tail, which for a time were unique to Diplodocus but are now known from other sauropod dinosaurs, is a genus of Diplodocid sauropod that lived in the late Jurassic period around 154 to 152 million years ago. Now, it lived in North America, across Wyoming, in a place known as the Morrison Formation, which was across Wyoming, Utah, and Colorado, as well as I think a few other states, and it encompassed around 10 million years of the Jurassic. So many, many famous Jurassic dinosaurs are known from the Morrison. Diplodocus, Apatosaurus, Camarasaurus, Brachiosaurus, Allosaurus, Stegosaurus, Ceratosaurus, and many, many other dinosaurs. As I said, across 10 million years, so there were a lot of animals living here. Now, Diplodocus itself, depending on the species, currently there are either two or three. There is Diplodocus carnegii, which is the most well-known species, Diplodocus longus, and Diplodocus halloran, formerly Seismosaurus. Now, they are between 26 to 29 metres in the largest specimens, so nearly over 100 feet long, and weighing upwards of 15 tonnes. While these animals weren't gargantuan like many others, they were very, very long. Yeah, Diplodocids were long, especially Diplodocus itself, as I'm going to try my best to review here. So Eofauna's Diplodocus is I believe it's the 8th figure in their line, and the 4th dinosaur that they have done, plus the 2nd sauropod they have yet released. And currently this is their longest figure. This thing is nearly 60 centimetres, almost 2 feet long. And I have to say, it's probably one of the best, if not the best, Diplodocus models that's ever been made. I mean, this thing is packed with detail, and it is just a wonderful sculpt. Without further ado, let's bring the figure in for a closer look. Now we can see we've got the head sculpt here. Now, Diplodocus is actually one of the few sauropods where we actually know what its skull looked like. It had quite this sort of like long snout here with peg-like teeth, which would have been used to strip foliage, especially ferns, as a just strip and then just gulp it all the way down. So they had no time for chewing. No sauropod ever had time for chewing, because that would have wasted too much precious energy. So once they'd stripped off the leaves, they gulped it and would have digested it in their stomachs. It's got this really, really nice. We've even got the tiny eye there, which is an orange eyeball with a tiny dotted black pupil. The nostrils are in their correct position down here on the snout. Originally, of course, sauropods were thought to have had their nostrils on the top of their head. Now, of course, we know they were located much further down the snout. Inside of the mouth has also been nicely painted in there. Nice pink paint. There are some tiny sculpted teeth there at the front of the snout. So this sort of yellowish white strip. Those are the teeth at the front, so they're very, very tiny. There's some nice skin folds and scale detail here. We also have the keratinous spines, which are actually known from skin impressions. Start at the base of the head here. They are in various sizes, going all the way down the neck, along the back, and all the way down to the tip of the tail. As we go down the neck, we can see there's more of those nice skin folds and scale work. See, we've got some sort of larger sort of scales right next to the spines going all the way down, and you get more in rows along the body here as well, and just Some really, really beautiful scale work in between there as well. Absolutely gorgeous. With the forelimbs here as well, sort of the classic horseshoe shape. As you can see, there is also a thumb claw there, which possibly may have been used for defense, or maybe even against rivals. We've got the large body here. Some nice scale work, especially around here. Have the hind limbs as well. So we've got 3 clawed toes there, and the other 2 are covered by this fleshy pad. We have the base of the animal here, so the base of the tail. Nice musculature and scale work here. And of course, Diplodocus's most characteristic feature is this incredibly long tail, which ends in this sort of curve. I think looks really, really nice. I mean, this tail in life would have been 12, 13 meters, possibly even longer, so why an animal would need such a long tail is a bit of a mystery. But it possibly may have helped with communication, may have been used for defense, or helped it to rear up to feed on leaves or food that were just out of reach of other sauropods. The coloration as well, I think, works really, really nicely. It's this sort of nice lightish brown beige that goes on throughout the majority of the figure, especially along the top here, all the way down, with this sort of darker brown, starting from the legs and a few bits here on the skull, on the snout, on the top of the head, but mainly here on the forelimbs, going all the way down the body, along the hind limbs here, with these various stripes going all the way down, and sort of to the end of the tail as well. And if you look very carefully, the figure as well also has these nice sort of cream-coloured stripes as well. So here on the neck, and also very slightly over the rest of the neck as well. I think these stripes look really, really nice. They add a bit of, and add more colour to this figure as well. You can clearly see here on this side as well, it adds some nice colouring to the animal itself. You can see there's more of those dark brown stripes going all the way down. The underside as well has been nicely done. We see here, so there's Diplodocus carnegii 2022 Eofauna. So there's some nice scale work and sculpt work on the underside of the figure as well. See, there's the neck. Here we have the body as well. Some nice scales into there. They have not sculpted a cloaca, but it would be around here on the animal. There's some more of that scale work going all the way down. Now, as I said, no, this thing is absolutely it's just incredibly long. So long, in fact, that it just about fits on my shelf. I mean, just about. I had to have, of course, the tail stretching out of the back, just because, I mean, this tail is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I will give Eofauna a lot of credit, though. They managed to sculpt this thing really well. Now, of course, it is sort of bendy at the end, so this is, of course, so mine sort of flops down a little bit, just because, of course, it's, been up on my shelf and everything. But it's made really well. It's not brittle or anything. It's not gonna collapse on the animal. So the sculpt, the material that they've used to keep it held aloft is actually really, really, it works really, really well. And I thought I would just bring in a few comparisons, so bear with me one moment. So here we have the Eofauna Diplodocus next to the Safari Limited Diplodocus, and you can already tell, I mean, just with the detail work alone, and also the coloration and size, Eofauna is absolutely gargantuan, even in comparison to the Safari Limited Diplodocus, which for a time was actually one of my longest figures, but you can just see, because of the way that the tail curves in Safaris, Eofauna's is even bigger. I mean, with the tail curled out, the Safari Limited Diplodocus would have been around more or less the same size, if of course the tail hadn't curled. But these two look pretty nice together. I mean, Eofauna is going to win in the detail category because it is just fantastic. I mean, the level of sculpt work has gone into making this figure is amazing. And for one of the contemporaries of Diplodocus, of course, here is the Papo Apatosaurus, again one of my other long figures. And as you can see, the tail as well, not as long as in Diplodocus, even though they are related animals. But you can just even see that the neck of the Apatosaurus is much more robust, much more thick than that of Diplodocus, meaning that Apatosaurus would use its neck for something a little different, possibly even using their necks to help, maybe even against rival Apatosaurs, which I think sounds pretty cool. Where would the Morrison Formation be without two of its most famous relevant contemporaries, Stegosaurus and Allosaurus? So these are both by Safari Limited. I think these three look pretty nice together. I don't think these are properly in scale. I think the Allosaurus needs to be slightly smaller, same with the Stegosaurus, but I think these look pretty cool, you know, seeing all three of the probably the famous of the Morrison Formation dinosaurs together. Looks really cool, and sort of gives you guys a bit of a range of sizes for these figures. Well, I think the Eofauna Diplodocus is an absolutely fantastic figure. Eofauna are masters at this beautiful sculpted detail and just, you know, trying to be as accurate as they can to what these animals may have looked like, and the Diplodocus is another masterpiece from them. I mean, if you guys have the space for it, for this absolutely enormous figure, I'd highly recommend you guys pick it up. If you don't, you may have to go with a different figure, maybe the Safari Limited, or even some of the other older ones like the Carnegie Collection. But if you guys are looking for a highly detailed and scientifically accurate sauropod figure, the Eofauna Diplodocus is one I would highly recommend. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, guys. If you'd want to purchase the Eofauna Diplodocus, I will leave a link to Everything Dinosaur in the description box below, where you can purchase this figure along with all of the other Eofauna products that have been released so far. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please be sure to give me a like, leave a comment in the comment section below. Will you guys be adding this figure to your list? What do you think is the best Eofauna figure? The Safari Limited Diplodocus or the Eofauna Diplodocus? Please let me know in the comments below. And until next time, guys, take care and see you all later. Bye!